What's going on, my friends? Thank you so much for watching this video. This video, we're gonna look at the tutorial on how to run a Google Ads campaign for lead generation in 2019, 2020, and beyond. So this video can actually have quite a bit of an impact on your business and on your finances. So go ahead and stick around for the entire thing. So we're gonna look at the three parts of what it takes to run a Google Ads campaign. In our example, we're gonna use a local business in a local area, but this can be applied to many different business types like plumbers, dentists, attorneys, etc., and to nationwide businesses as well. So go ahead, like I said, stick around and see what the examples are. So we're gonna break this tutorial into three sections, which we're gonna look at individually in detail. The first section is for you to smash that like button, obviously. Thank you for being awesome. So the first three sections are, the first one is setting up the foundation of your campaign, which are things like the keywords, which are very important as they set literally the foundation. The second part is optimizing that campaign. For most of us, we have a limited budget, so we want to squeeze as much juice as possible out of the Google. And we want to optimize that campaign, so we're going to use things like negative keywords to really help us hone in on that perfect potential customer. And the third part is actually where we're going to send all this traffic to, which is going to be to a landing page. On that landing page, we're going to have either an option for the potential customer to give us a call, to fill out a opt-in form, or to do both. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do everything in the tutorial. So go ahead and stick around. Again, thank you so much for watching, and let's jump in. Go ahead and log into your Google Ads account by going to ads.google.com and then just pressing log in. Once you're logged in, go ahead and go over to that campaign page and press this big blue campaign button. You might actually skip this step if you have a brand new Google Ads account, and you're probably going to land somewhere here. In either case, we want to get to this page. So for this campaign, we're going to be setting up a fake tax office just so I can show you what the campaign looks like. And we want our leads to give our tax office a call. All right, so in this case, I'm going to go over to the leads option. Now, this is not too drastically different whether you pick website traffic or leads. There are some slight changes, but everything can be set up even after that campaign is set up within this initial setup function. So next, we go over to this campaign type, which you have search, display, shopping, video. For the most part, we're just going to use search. These, you need to know what you're doing, and frankly, they do cost quite a bit. So next one, after we press search, we want to select the ways you like to reach your goal. So for us, it's going to be website visits and phone calls. All right. So for our website visits, I'm going to put in our business website, which is going to be DennisLeskovitz.com/tax prep. For the phone number, we're going to use a number, which is my business number. Actually, I forget the business number right now, so I'm going to use just a slightly different one. Okay. And then we go into this second screen. So here we can name our campaign. Let's do tax prep leads. And this is actually very important. So the networks part is something we need to look at. And we're going to press show more settings here, okay? Just so we have all the settings available. But going back to the network, we have the search network and we have the display network. And we need to turn off the display network. This is a very critical step to not have banner ads running. This is going to kill your conversions for the most part. If you are more of a fashion brand, you might want to consider this, but for the most part, the folks that are watching this video are people who need leads in our business, and we are going to turn off the display network. We do want to include search partners for the most part. This is basically when somebody lands on a website that Google is partnering with and they search something, you're going to appear in those search results. For the most part, I just leave it on. You can turn it off. It's up to you. So coming on down here, we have our start and end dates. So we're going to start it today. End is not set. If you have a certain date that it's set, you can actually set that. For us, for example, just so I can set an end date, we're going to set April 15th, 2020, which is going to be the last day where somebody can file their taxes. So for us, that just makes sense. Now, for you, might not even pertain to your situation. Campaign URLs, we're going to skip. Dynamic ad setting, we're going to skip for now. Next up, we have our locations. And now this is more important as well because we want to look at different location setups. It's pretty self-explanatory, but in our case, we are a local tax preparation office and we want to set our location to Sacramento. Now, for us, it's not just Sacramento, it's kind of the surrounding areas of Sacramento. So think about the Sacramento metro area. So this is going to be kind of the area that we're targeting. Sacramento, Stockton, Modesto. All right, we're going to target that. And then we also have a couple other areas we want to target, which are, actually, you know what? We're not going to target those areas because when we do target those areas, I want specific landing pages set up specifically for those areas. So when somebody comes in from Sacramento, I want it to say Sacramento on the landing page just for that relevance. It actually helps Google quite a bit. So I'm going to hold on from the other location options for now. Now next we have our target option. Here this is also very important. So the first option is people in or who show interest in your targeted locations. We do not want that because somebody from another city, from another country can be looking at our locations, just maybe they have friends living here, but they're probably not going to end up being clients. So we want to target people in or regularly in your targeted locations. And then exclude people in or who show interest in your excluded locations. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Languages that you speak English, audiences. Now this is very different and I usually do not mess with this because I want Google to show me who my audience is. I don't want to set up parameters and then have my cost per click go up because there's certain audiences that I'm not targeting who can be my potential customers. So I just usually leave this blank and let Google use their machine learning algorithm to kind of figure out who my perfect audience is. Next, when we look at our budget, there's a few things to mention here. So the first one is the budget itself. Now, when you're running any type of lead generation, I recommend starting off at $50. The reason being is you want to give Google a room to breathe, and usually anything less than that, it's harder to get clicks. The clicks that you're going to be running can range anywhere from $5, $10, $15 per click. And I mean, it could even be $2 per click, but you want to get some data at first. And usually it takes about a few days for you to get in some statistically significant data in. And what you want to do with that is just leave the campaign on for $50 a day for 2, 3, 4 days, and then see what your average cost per day comes in and how much leads you get. And so when you do get, let's say you run 4 days at $50, that's $200 that you just invested into this campaign. See what the leads are like and then go ahead and lower down your daily budget. Now the budget here is something to note here is that Google is going to spend your budget approximately per day. So what that means is some days your budget is going to go over this budget per day, and some days this budget is going to be less than your set budget per day. But over the month, it's going to average out to about $50 per day. So that's how you need to think about it. Google can actually go probably up to 20% over the budget, so don't be scared when your budget kind of increases a little more per day than you think. Now, another note to kind of note here before we get into this is we're going to talk a little bit about pricing and cost per click a little bit later, but I do want to set this up as we go along. So with the daily budget, it's better to set it at a breathing room level of a budget versus than to setting it to a lower budget and running it for more days. So I would rather you set it at a higher budget for 2-3 days out of the week, and then turn off that campaign for the other days in the week if you're not meeting your budget for the month, but instead of running a lower budget for more days. Because again, with these higher budgets, Google is going to have kind of the ability to breathe and use that budget, and their machine learning algorithm needs room to be able to spend some of that money that you set aside. Alrighty. On the delivery method, we definitely want standard. This is the recommended for Google, and it just makes a lot more sense. When you press accelerated, Google is going to send you crappier leads just to get kind of everything, your budget spent as fast as possible. So next, on our bidding strategy, we want to focus on maximizing our clicks. Now, Google is going to recommend that we maximize conversions, but that's a little bit of a more advanced of a setup because you have to implement Google's Pixel, so to speak, on your website, which is implementation of code, and you have to set it up a little bit more advanced. But if you know how to do that, that definitely helps. So I would recommend kind of seeing what it would take to set up the conversions. But for this campaign, we want to set up a simple campaign, and for the most part, unless you're really going to be spending quite a bit of money on Google Ads, then you would want to focus on conversions. For us, it would be focusing on clicks, but usually I just press select a bid strategy directly, and then we have all of the options here. For the most part, I use maximize clicks. You have target return on ad spend with target cost per acquisition, but these are great if you kind of want to mess around and see what they do. But for the most part, we want to see how many clicks we can get for our specified budget. And this is why we use a maximum cost per click bid limit, because if you do not use this, Google can spend up to $50 for one single click, and that's just not working out for our type of leads. So usually I set it to something like $15 and kind of let it run and see what it does. Now, if you notice that when you're running this, you're not getting any clicks, you might be in a highly competitive area or a highly competitive niche, you want to kind of put this up a little bit. You want to put the cost per click bid limit up. And actually, Google is going to tell you that they're not running your ad because your cost per click is too low. And I'm going to show you how to look at that and analyze that. But when we set our maximum click limit, we just are telling Google that you shall not go above this click limit because, well, it doesn't make any financial sense for us to do so. Okay, coming on down here, click show more settings. You always want to check some of these things. Conversions, sure, that's fine. Ad schedule. So this is kind of important as well. If you are running a normal 9-to-5 business and you are accepting calls like I am, let's say 9 to 5, what we want to do is we want to select Mondays through Fridays, and we want to set up the time as, here we go, 9 a.m. And so 5 p.m. that would be 17 or 1700. There we go. We'll want to press add. Actually, nope, that's all good. So now we're all set. We're running Monday 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. So Monday through Friday 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. standard business hours. Ad rotation, optimize, prefer best performing ads. Yes, that does work for us. We definitely want our best performing ads to be showing more. Site link extensions and ad extensions are something that we definitely want, but we're going to get into these a little bit later. I'm going to show you how to set them up. For now, we want to press save and continue. Okay, next, here's our campaign. It's going to want us to run an ad. For now, we're just going to press save and continue. And we're just going to press save and continue. We're going to skip all of this pretty much. And we're going to continue to campaign. And here we go. We have our tax prep leads over on our left-hand side, and we are inside of our main campaign. So now this is where we're going to get to work to continue building out this campaign. So first things first is that we need to set up our ads campaign, and we start by setting up our keyword ad groups. Now this is important because every single ad group has a certain search intent, and with the search intent, you want to capture the exact intent that the searcher has. Now, this might sound complicated, but the basic gist of it is that, first of all, it's much cheaper on your actual cost per click and your overall campaign. And second of all, it just converts so much better. When you search something like plumber, right, you want plumber to come up as the keyword. Right, you're not expecting something else. You're not expecting something like fixed toilets to come up. And maybe it's not the best example, but you want to be as close as possible to what the searcher is searching with your Google Ads campaign. So now that we did a basic setup, we kind of just ran through the setup just to get to this part. What we want to do is we want to go over to our tools and settings, and we want to go over to the keyword planner. Here we're going to find keyword ad groups, and then we're going to build out these keyword ad groups with more keywords so that the ad group has multiple keywords that have a specific search intent, and you're going to get to see exactly what that is. Go ahead and click Discover New Keywords. On this screen, you're going to type in your main keyword. So for me, it would be tax preparation. Now I want to deselect this because I don't want certain brands to show up. For example, I do not want H&R Block or Liberty Tax keywords to show up in the search results. So then I press Get Results. Now at this point, I see a few results, and our first goal is to create several ad groups, kind of the top level keywords, and then we can create keywords that go under those main ad group keywords. So for example, tax preparation would be one of the main keywords. And then as we go down, we look for some other different type of keywords. So for example, tax services is not specifically tax preparation, so we want to select tax services as its own separate ad group, keywords group. So looking down the list, I see taxes near me, which could be its own ad group. So as we look down this keyword ideas list, we want to filter out the main ad group keywords that we're going to separate into their own individual groups. So as I go down here, I see tax places. Okay, so that might be something that I note down. Now tax help is an interesting one. So it's tax help, however, I don't feel like it's a particularly helpful keyword to get leads from. I feel like this is more of a tax planning keyword, so I'm just going to pass on that. So I just want to note one more thing again. See, it says tax preparation services near me. I'm going to put that under tax preparation. We go on to the second page and we continue to look for different keyword ad groups. Tax prep here. And I think this will be it for now. As you can see, there's just a lot of different ad groups, and they all kind of have their own search intent. We understand that it's the broad tax preparation category, but people search for different things, and so we want to be as specific as possible. This is why we do the keywords. We kind of filter out the keywords into their own ad groups. Okay, so once you have your ad groups filtered out, what you want to do is you want to go over to the filter section. So let's go back to page 1. We press add filter, and then we press keyword text. And we're going to start off with tax preparation. So now you can see that all of the keywords that are shown below have tax preparation in the keyword itself. So this is what we want. So now we can start to fill out the ad group on top with all of these additional keywords below into the main keyword ad group. So first thing is tax preparation services. Next is tax preparation near me. Tax preparation services near me. Okay. So income tax preparation, I think we have there we go. We have its own individual ad group for that, so we're gonna skip it. Tax preparation offices near me, okay. We have CPA tax preparation. That could probably be its own ad group. Now, the cost of tax preparation brings me up to a really good point. We need the highest intent of keywords. So what that means is we want keywords that we know when you type a certain keyword, we know that searcher is looking to do business with us. We don't want specific keywords that just kind of give away information without having purchase intent. So we definitely want to avoid cost of tax preparation because people just want to find out the cost. That does not mean they want to do business with you, right? So please weed out these kind of keywords. Cheap tax preparation, I would probably weed that one out as well, and that sort of thing. Now we have some other keywords, for example, business tax preparation. That needs to be its own ad group. Business people have a different mindset than regular individuals, so we definitely want to target business tax preparation in its own ad group. And as you can see, for tax purposes, there's quite a bit of different ad groups. Now, I think you got the general gist of what I'm doing here with these ad groups. So I'm not going to make you wait for me to fill every one of these out. I just decided that I'm going to take 3 ad groups that I feel have the most value for me, and I'm going to list them and fill them up with keywords inside of them. So give me a couple of seconds and I'll be right back. So after we found our best keywords for tax preparation, we want to move on to the next column, which is tax services. So I go back up here to the top, delete this keyword and type in tax services, press get results, and then I'm going to add a filter and it's going to say keyword text. I'm going to say tax services. So tax services must be in the keyword itself. So we have the main keyword tax services. Let's put tax services near me. Tax preparation service, that's not going to work. Income tax services, online tax services. Yeah, so sales tax, yeah, Anthem, that's another company. We do not want any of these keywords. So we're going to continue on to the next one. So we're going to type in taxes near me. Go back up here, taxes near me. Get results. Apply. So the main keyword taxes near me. We have places to do taxes near me. That can work. Places to do taxes near me. I feel like that's a pretty good search intent. Whoops, it's going to be another one. Places to do taxes near me. Taxes done near me. All right, so I feel like this is the keyword that we have used. So we're going to move on. So I think you get the overall general gist of what I'm doing here. So I'm not going to bore you with finding all of the keywords. I think you got this. So I'm going to filter out one more category and I'm going to be right back. So I got the last keyword group done, which is business tax preparation. Business tax preparation is in the tax preparation space, brings in a lot more money to the whole tax preparation filing side of things. So looking at these keywords, corporate tax preparation and small business tax preparation, I see that and I feel that when I say corporate, I feel that corporate is a bigger business than just a regular business. Maybe that's just me. Let me know in the comments down below what you think. When you hear corporate, what kind of a business do you think of? Is it small, medium, or big? And then there's the next keyword is small business. And I feel like a person who is a business owner who types in small business, they probably want somebody who specializes in small businesses. So what I'm going to do for these 2 keywords, I'm actually going to put them as their own ad groups. And these are called SKAGs. So SKAG stands for single keyword ad group. Okay, so at this point, I'm just going to type in corporate tax preparation. And small business tax preparation. And there we go. Okay, I'm going to delete these. Okay, so we have, in total, we have 6 keyword groups. and then we have 3 SKAGs and 3 regular keyword ad groups. Once we found our keyword ad groups along with the keywords that go within each ad group, the next thing we want to move on to are negative keywords. Now, negative keywords are probably even more important than the actual keywords. The reason being is that quite a bit of money gets spent by campaigns that do not have a big list of negative keywords. The reason being is that from practice, I can tell you people search for all sorts of different things and people click on all sorts of different keywords. Or sorry, they click on your link that's showing up for all sorts of different keywords, and you have to pay for that, which is unfortunate. With SEO, it's not that big of a problem. It doesn't really cost you that much. With pay-per-click, it's quite a bit and it adds up really quick, so you definitely want a big list of negative keywords if possible. Now, before we get into this, I do want to say that you're actually going to have to find this yourself, but when you're actually running a campaign and you're a couple days in to a few more days in, you want to look on your search terms inside of your ads campaign, inside of your ad group level, and it's going to tell you which search terms people are searching for, and in those search terms you can see which keywords are just bad and do not bring you any profit. So you can go ahead and add them to the negative keywords list as well. Okay, and then now moving on to the actual negative keywords part. How do we find these negative keywords? Well, we look through Google again. Alrighty, so apart from the obvious negative keywords like cheap, careers, guide, job, for us it would be IRS, customer service, tax attorney, tax planning, tax resolution. So these are the negative keywords that I can kind of just think off the top of my head that I know off the bat do not apply to this particular ad campaign, right? And I do not want to spend money on them for this ad campaign because, hey, even though tax planning could pertain to a tax office, I'm specifically running this campaign for tax preparation, and I do not want people who are looking for tax planning to land on a website that talks all about tax preparation. Okay, so with that logic in place, let's go back. So we're actually gonna go back to where we came from, which is the keyword planner. And again, we go into discover new keywords, exclude brand names. Actually, you know what? Include brand names, because we need a big list of negative keywords. So we're gonna actually remove these brands, might as well. So we're gonna start off with our main keyword, and this is what we're gonna search for. So for me, it's tax preparation. Get results. So let's see. Credit Karma tax. Yeah, don't want that one. Tax services, H&R Block online. Tax preparation services, that's fine. Jackson Hewitt near me. Definitely don't want that one. Tax services, tax near me, tax places near me, those are fine. Liberty tax near me. Definitely don't want that one. Tax help. Yeah, you know what? I actually do not want that one. I feel like I said in the earlier section that it does not particularly apply. My Jackson Hewitt. That does not work. Tax preparation service, that's fine. Jackson Hewitt, Walmart. Yeah, Walmart. Who would think, right? People would search for taxes in Walmart, and so as you can see, there's quite a bit of negative keywords you can add in here. And yeah, you definitely need to. It can be a long time. You could spend hours adding more and more negative keywords. However, I do want to say that the more keywords that you add, the better your campaign is going to perform, because it weeds out all the people that do not qualify to your perfect potential customer. The reason being is that when you're spending money, you want the purest
customer that you can possibly get. You know, when you're doing things like SEO and you get somebody random that kind of calls you in and asks for some services, hey, it's okay. When you're spending money, you don't want randomness to happen, because random costs you money in this Google Ads campaign and all of Google Ads campaigns. So I can spend a lot of time here. I'm not going to bore you with this. Go ahead and figure out all the negative keywords that you need, and then right now we're going to add them to the list. Once you have a list of all your negative keywords, you want to go back to your main page, which you can do just by clicking your Google Ads. Let's see, let's go into our campaigns and let's press tax prep. Boom. We have ad group 1. And what we want to do is once we're inside of our campaign, we want to go over to keywords and then negative keywords. Now, if you remember previously, I told you about search terms, and you're going to be able to see once you have data what kind of search, how people are finding you with which search terms. You're able to do that in this tab right here. And then you can kind of dig in and figure out, okay, which keywords do not work, and you can add them to the negative keywords. Okay. So now what we want to do is take this list of negative keywords. Just gonna select these, and we're just gonna copy them in here. Okay, paste, save. And then what we do, this next step is kind of interesting. We want to use our negative keywords as phrase matches for Google. So it seems to be the best, most effective way to use negative keywords. I'm not going to get into too many details, but you can see different match types just by going to Google and searching negative keyword match types, and Google is going to explain that to you in their support page. You can definitely, I do recommend if you are really wanted to get into Google Ads, but for the most part, I just usually use phrase match. So what you do is you just press this list, press edit, and you press change match types. And we want to do phrase match. Apply. There we go. At this point, when we have our ad groups and our keywords ready, and we also created the negative keywords, we go back to our original list of tax prep keywords that we created, which are our ad groups. All right, so now it's time to create and actually build out these ad groups within Google Ads. So what we're going to do, we're going to hop on to our main screen over here. We're going to go to our campaign, which is going to be tax prep leads. We're going to press ad group 1 because that was what was created when we originally set up the campaign. We're going to press into this, and just so you have the general overview, I'm going to go back here just a second. We're going to go back to, there we go. So we're going to go back to our ad groups, and the first ad group is going to be tax preparation. And that ad group is going to have all these tax preparation keywords that we just found, and it's also going to have a actual ad that's targeted for tax preparation, and then a landing page that's targeted at tax preparation as well. So we have a sort of a structure that goes on through all of our ad groups, our landing pages, and our actual ads themselves. So again, I'm going to go save that. I'm going to go ahead and click into the ad group, and here we can add our keywords. Now, the way that I add our keywords is we're going to use a tool called AdWords Wrapper. And this tool is going to be, we're going to use this tool to be able to create a phrase match and an exact match option for the keywords that we are looking to target. And again, phrase match and exact match, you can do a little bit more research on that, but these are the two of the best ways to run Google Ads for. And if you want to get into more detail, you can definitely do that by just Googling phrase match and exact match definitions on Google. But I use phrase and exact match when I'm running my campaigns. So I'm going to go ahead and copy all. Oops. Go ahead and just Control on these guys. There we go. Let's copy that. Paste them in here. Wrap the keywords. And then we're going to take the phrase match and the exact match. We're just going to press copy, go back to our main keywords, add the keywords in here. We're just going to paste them. Oh, why is it not doing it? Let's try it this way. There we go. All right, so as you can see on the bottom here, it says keyword. Just having the naked keyword in there is a broad match, and then having a keyword in quotation marks is a phrase match, and the keyword in these, I forget what these are called, and these are the exact match. So I'm going to paste them in here, and then I'm going to press save. Boom. So these are our keywords for ad group, which is called tax preparation. Okay. Now we're going to go back, and we can go up top over here and just press tax prep leads to get back into our main campaign. We're going to go back into ad groups, and voila, we have our first ad group. So for the sake of time, usually when I already have ads set up, I just clone the existing ad group so that I don't have to set up the ads for every single individual ad group individually. And now we do not have ads that we set up for this campaign. So I'm just gonna go ahead and clone it as I would normally do, but I'm just telling you that for time's sake, you probably wanna clone it most of the time. So we're just gonna press copy, then deselect that and just press paste. Paste. All right, as you can see, it's now done. So we have tax preparation number 2 over here, and we're going to change this to our next ad group, which is going to be tax services. Okay, we go ahead and press on tax services, and we're going to actually just going to remove or select all 12. We're going to remove all of these keywords that we just cloned. There we go. And we're going to add just 2 keywords for this guy. And we're going to go back into our ads wrapper tool. Let's see, let's go back. We're going to do tax services and tax services near me. Wrap keywords. Phrasing the tax match. We're just going to copy it. Copy, paste them in here, and then press save. And boom, there we go. That is our second ad group set up. We're going to go back into tax prep leads, go into ad groups, and as you can see, we have both of our ad groups set up. Now for the third one, whoops, that was wrong. Let's not do that. We need to clone. We need to clone this one so we don't have to go through the process again. Let's just clone tax services, copy, deselect, paste, paste. Now for this one, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a single keyword ad group, which is a SCAG, just so I can show you how to set up those SCAGs as well. Now you got the other 2, which are showing you how to add groups with multiple keywords, and the SCAG is just going to be with one keyword in there. So this one is going to be business tax preparation. I'm gonna save that. Click inside of there. Click here. Edit. Remove. Okay, and we're just going to add our keywords, but first let's wrap them. Okay, add our keywords, paste them in here, and save. So that is what a single keyword ad group looks like. Basically, we're just taking one keyword and doing a phrase match and an exact match and a phrase match on that one keyword. And then what we're going to do is we're going to set up a landing page that talks specifically about business tax preparation, and then an ad that talks specifically about business tax preparation. That's going to really help us create that unity between the keyword, the ad, and the landing page. And that is the majority of optimization that we need to do, and that is basically not the secret, but it's a well-known fact of having a great campaign to have all those three parameters in union with each other. And I'm going to be repeating that over and over in this tutorial because it's a critical part of running well-optimized campaigns. All right, guys. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to put all the other ad groups in there, and I'm going to be right back. At this point, what we want to do is create our ads. So we're going to do that by going over to the left over here and pressing ads and extensions and pressing create ad, text ad. Here's going to ask us which ad group we want to make the ad for. So as mentioned earlier, we're going to be focusing on tax prep right now. So we're going to be making an ad that has specific keywords that are focused on tax preparation in my local area. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to set up these ads, and I'm going to come back after I set everything up, and I'm going to show you exactly how I set it up and my thought process during the setup. And there we go. These are the 3 ads that I set up for tax preparation. These ads have the same ending on them, but the main call to action and the main focuses are different. So let's look at the first one. And one thing to note across all of these ads is that I am citing the city for which I'm running the ad. So in this case, it's Sacramento, and I'm saying Sacramento, the word Sacramento, in the main headline of every single ad. When people see their own city that they're living in, and they see the ad for a specific service that they're searching for plus the city name, they're much more likely to click because that's something that's comfortable with them. And then moving on, we want to look at just a few of other examples here of what I'm using for the main headline and etc. So for headline 2, I'm saying in the first ad here, I'm saying 47% off tax preparation. Now this is a call to action. This is a hook. And with all of these, I need some kind of a hook to get the person to click the ad. And so in the first one, it's 47% off. In the second one, it says call number 1 Sacramento Tax Pros, right? And then I'm saying free quote. That free quote, I'm hoping will drive the click and it will drive the call to get some sort of a information from us about our tax services. And then the third one there is file taxes with a pro in 2020, top rated Sacramento firm. So I'm putting Sacramento tax firm. So I'm putting trust, right? By saying top rated, that means folks have already done taxes with us, and now we have a top rated firm, which means that our trust factor is high. So we can use top rated in our ad copy, and hopefully that increases our overall reliability as a tax firm, meaning that people will click on the ad more. And then again, I put free estimate just to incite that click a little bit more. And I notice that I put free quote and free estimate in both of the second and third ads in quotation marks. That breaks up the text a little bit, so when the person first searches something on Google, they are more likely to see that because, again, of that broken up text when they're looking at all sorts of different ads and organic results. Okay, now for the bottom text in these ads, I kept it similar, but I again notice what I'm doing here. It says call for an estimate and lock in this exclusive deal. It's referring to the deal that I originally stated in my main headline. And then I'm just saying sort of like little highlights, little snippets of information about the business. And again, we're trying to incite that click We're trying to get that person to take action and give us a call. So 7+ years of experience in this first ad. Again, that's building credibility. Top rated on Google and Yelp, more credibility, experienced tax specialist, certified by the ASTPS. That's the American Society of Tax Problem Solvers. Again, these things help build trust, because trust and reputation are the hardest to build when you are dealing with cold traffic. These people don't know who you are, and you need to build trust right off the bat. And it's hard to do when you have no credibility behind your back. Well, you mention your credibility in these ads, and that helps smooth out the process. And the text is pretty much the same in the second and third ad. Over here, I just copy and pasted it. Now, I do want to know, on this display path, right, in all of these ads, I have my main keyword after my website. So in this case, it's tax preparation, and I'm separating it into 2 words. Okay. And basically, these are the ads that I'm going to run. Now, when you do run these ads, you want to run them simultaneously and see which one performs better. All right, so we're back in our main screen here. And what I want to show you is that we have all of these ads running. Now, these ads have been set up under the tax preparation ad group. So if we go back to our ad groups, right, we have our 3 ad groups that I've chosen to run here, and I'm running these ads within the tax preparation ad group. So when we press the tax preparation ad group, it automatically launches us into keywords. We go a little bit up into ads and extensions, and here are our ads. And as you can see, there are metrics. When you start running these ads, these metrics are going to populate with statistical data, and you want to see how many clicks you're getting, what your click-through rate is, and what your cost is. And you want to kind of see which ads are performing better. And what you can do is the ads that are not performing as well, you can turn them off, and you can continue to optimize that way and revise the text and split test different ads to see which ones are performing better. I'm planning on doing a separate video on campaign optimization after you launch the campaign and after you have some data to work with. I want to do a video on actually optimizing that data and how to structure it properly so that you squeeze even more juice and you really get that campaign optimized for months on end. Okay, so for us, for this tax preparation, it's a season long. It's from January till April. So I'm going to be getting data the first 2 to 3 weeks of these campaigns, and then I'm going to be really optimizing that campaign. Basically, I'm going to do 1 or 2 optimizations, major optimizations to the campaign, and it's going to run all the way through April 14th. And then April 15th is the last day to file taxes unless you get an extension. So that's what I'm going to be doing. And next, I want to talk a little bit about the other ad groups here. So if we go back to our ad groups, we have tax services, okay, and then we also have business tax preparation. So I'm not going to dive really in depth on how to create ads for all of these different ad groups, but it's pretty much basic information. Generally, if you are out of ideas, what you want to do is you want to just head over to Google and you want to see what pops up, okay? So we have small business solutions, cut your compliance workload. These ads are okay. Nothing that I really like here. In terms of the ad copy, press tax preparation. Yeah, just nothing that really weak ad copy, so to speak. But you can get some ideas just by Googling your keyword and seeing what ads are running in the first place. But basically what you do is when you have 3 good ads and you have multiple ad groups, what you do is you just pretty much recreate these ads in the other ad group and you just change a few things around. So for example, if I was running business tax preparation, what would I want to do? And well, I would go to edit and I would see, what can I change about this ad? Okay. And honestly, not much. I would look into adding business. Oops, so I can't add business there. I might do something like 47% off business tax prep. Boom, offer expires in 5 days. Call in for an estimate, lock in this exclusive deal. On the headline number 3, I might keep offering expires in 5 days. I might change it to top rated business tax firm. There we go. Right. So what we do is we just take these ads and we reorientate them to focus on the keyword that we want to go after in the ad group. Okay. So that's pretty self-explanatory. I don't think I really need to get in depth with this. I think you can understand. You can see what we're doing here. And yeah, let's go and see what other ad groups we have at this point. Tax prep leads, ad groups, tax services. Yeah, so you just go back into the ad and change everything from tax preparation to tax services. Okay. Now, I hope that makes sense. It's pretty simple. If you have any questions, please leave them down in the comments. I'll try to help you out. And the next thing we're going to move on to are ad extensions. These help us to gain more traction on the actual page, so that when you have more real estate on your ad, people are more likely to notice it, thus more likely to click it, and you're more likely to get business from that. Okay, so we're going to hop into that next. So now it's time to look into ad extensions. The way we get there is by going into ads and extensions, and we're going to look at extensions on the top. Now, as I was building out this campaign, I noticed that it says trademarks in ad text contains Yelp and Google. Yeah, you probably don't want top rated on Google and Yelp. Just go ahead and put top rated tax firm. You know, it doesn't have to be on Google Yelp, but I guess Google and Yelp, they don't like when you use Google and Yelp for Google Ads. So that was just a side note, but now it's for extension time. So we're going to go into these extensions, and it says, it's saying add account level call out extensions. That's okay. I'm going to pass on that. So here's what we're going to do. We already have a call extension in here, but I'm going to actually delete this at that point, just so I can show you everything. So we're going to press this big blue button, and the first thing we're going to do is called a site link extension. All right. So site links are basically links that go below your ad that allow you to link to different pages of your website if you want to. I usually just funnel everything into one single page where the leads can go to, and they can give us a call. Okay, so let's get started here. Site link text. So what we're going to focus on are just more little snippets of callouts and verbiage that kind of builds trust and confirms that we are a legitimate business who you really want to do business with, basically. Okay, so what we're going to do here are things like 100% service guarantee. You can put descriptions here. That's fine that you can. I usually don't. Final URL is going to be the same one that we used. https://tax prep. There we go. Second one would be something like 5-star rated firm or company. Okay, again, we're just going to copy the final URL here. Site link 3 is something like a plus BBB credited. All right, and then the last one is certified IRS tax pros. And you can add probably 6, I believe, or 7 even site links. You definitely want to get as many of these as you can in the ad. Again, it helps just to fill out the space in the ad so you get more real estate and your ad takes up more space, so when somebody sees it, they're drawn to it because it's taking up a larger portion of the space here. Okay, as we go down, let's press site link URL options. So I do those, and advanced options, display preference, make sure you have mobile. That is important. Start date, it does not matter for us because the overriding start date along with the overriding the days and hours are going to be set on the campaign level, which we did already set when we were setting up the campaign. You can always change everything in this section in the settings option over here. Okay, so we're gonna press save for now. We're gonna save that. There we go. So now we have our site links extensions set up, and these are currently running, I believe, on all the ad groups, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. Next, we're gonna press call out extension. Okay. Call out extensions. They're just more call to actions, more words that you can fill out in the description. I even am having trouble. There we go. 25 proven call to action words to maximize campaigns. Get started. Not today. Get started. Sign up free. Create account. Yeah. So get started. Filing with a pro. It puts a period on the end over there. See, I don't like that. So we're just gonna get started filing today. Right, and then you could just fill out more and more of these. I will keep repeating myself. It does fill out more of that campaign, so you definitely want to fill out as much as possible. And do take your time. You know, I know it takes more time than you probably want, but when you were getting initially dragged into the whole idea of a business and how you're going to make all this money, this is what that person that kind of showed you all of this, they didn't mention that you're going to have to spend so much time in Google Ads and other types of systems trying to get customers into your business. Okay, so back on topic, we can do structured snippet extensions. Those are all right. So I usually skip those. I go straight to call extension. I really like call extension because it adds a phone number on the bottom of the ad. And one thing to note is that the phone number that you're going to put on here, it needs to match the phone number on the website. This is a 100% requirement. Now, I forget what number I was using. Where is this? 260-2071. 2071. Okay. Advanced options, display preference mobile. Go ahead and check that. These are already set. Now, I do like to increase my bid slightly, for example 3%, to get this mobile call extension to show up on our ads. Okay, and that is because most of the business that I get and your clients could get, or you can get, comes from phone calls. I love phone calls, and so I want that mobile number to show up as much as possible. So 3% is usually kind of the baseline that I set it out, and then once the campaign starts running, I look at the campaign to see if I need to increase this bid adjustment. Okay, so once the campaign starts running, you're going to get more data to look at, and you're going to have a easier time to optimize that campaign. I usually start off at 3%. Okay, so we're going to save that. Next, what do we have? Message extensions. These are okay. Basically, it's kind of like texting, where you can set up a option for a lead to text you. I usually don't even really have time for that, so I'm just gonna exit out of that. But definitely something for you to kind of check out. And location extensions are interesting. I'm gonna have to blur this out, But basically, when you have a location that's verified, you can just add it to the account, to the ads that you're running, and it's going to show up. It's going to show up on the ad itself. So let me try to pull up an example for you here. So something like this, right? Basically, H&R Block is running a website and they have a location here. Now it says 20 locations nearby. Usually it would have that pin and just an address over here. And like I said, it takes up more space, so you might as well set it up. And that is if you have a Google My Business verified with your account that you're running the ads on. Okay, and you could just connect it to that. Next, we have price extensions. These are extensions where you can name a product and add a price. I usually don't do that just because I usually quote individual prices per call. So that's that for me. App extension. Yeah, I do not have that. Promotion extension. Again, you could just have, so for promotion, you can have an offer that, let's say you're selling physical products, it really works with those. And if you do have a service and you want to do like a holiday special, you can definitely do that on the promotion extension. Okay, so that's it for extensions. Pretty basic. Again, they just fill out more room, and that is what we're looking for. All right, see you on the next one. So before I move on along to the landing pages, I do want to circle back to the beginning of the setup campaign, and I do want to note that when I was setting up the campaign, I was targeting the Sacramento metropolitan area. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to change this, and I'm going to change this to just the Sacramento area. The reason being is because I am targeting all of my ads only to the Sacramento area, and my wording that I'm using for this location is just Sacramento. So I'm not specifying things like Modesto, Stockton. I'm just focusing on Sacramento. So I want to zoom into the Sacramento area, and I want to target the Sacramento area without the Sacramento metropolitan area. This is what kind of zooms into that campaign, and it helps that campaign really be optimized and laser targeted to this location. Okay, it says item not found. That's strange. Sacramento. Let's do target. Save. Item not found. Well, that's interesting. What do you mean item not found? So let's add a location. Sacramento. Target. Save. Boom. So now we have Sacramento set up as our primary targeted location. You can always set up a new ad campaign for a different city, and inside of the ad campaign you can specify all of your ad groups and set up all of your services within those ad groups. But I try to always focus on a specific city because my ad copy and my landing page are going to be talking about that specific city. Okay, I hope that makes sense. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments down below. So going back to where we were going to, so let's go to ads. When I click on any of these ads, it goes to my landing page. Now, this landing page is specifically targeted to the tax preparation ad group. Now, that is what, again, it's that this landing page is that third and final step of the entire funnel. And as you can see, it's talking about tax preparation, right? And it's talking about that this company is located in Sacramento. Alrighty. These kind of wording and having consistency throughout your copy from the ad to the landing page is what really makes it. Okay. And as you can see, this landing page is pretty simple. Now you can always spice it up. You can add reviews on the bottom. You can kind of pull in maybe Yelp reviews, maybe Google reviews, some other form of reviews, kind of stick them on there. And I think it will increase the conversion rates. But you can do split testing and see which landing page works better. Okay. Now for this landing page, I want to get phone calls. So the landing page has just a button, and this works great on mobile as well, where the user just clicks this button and it gives us a call. My end goal is to get a call from from Google, where a person searches the ad, clicks on the ad, and gives me a call. Okay, so as you can see, very simple landing page, and my main action is I'm trying to get them to give me a call. One thing to note is I do not have a top header bar as most websites do. I remove that because that actually distracts users from focusing on that main part that I want them to take, and they're just gonna go exploring around the website. I don't want them to do that. So I'm just gonna I remove that top bar and create this landing page using Elementor. And yeah, so with Elementor, it's great. It gives you the ability to create these wonderful landing pages. Go ahead and check them out. Unfortunately, they did not allow me to be an affiliate because they only work with the big guys, which is unfortunate. But I still do recommend them. Great software. Just their affiliate site kind of sucks at this point, but maybe I'll become an affiliate eventually, and then it's not gonna suck. All right. So that's landing page. What I do is I make 3 landing pages. I would make 3 landing pages based on these ad groups, and I would keep them simple. I would just make change the wording around a little bit. So for business tax preparation, I would just change it to file with the #1 business tax preparation company in Sacramento. And then the next ad group, I would say tax services. So I would change it to #1 tax services company in Sacramento. Yeah, so keep it really simple. Just make the wording consistent. Okay, obviously if you are targeting a different city, then change the landing page and make another landing page. Just change the city name. Helps that continuity. I don't know how to say that. Maybe I'll learn someday. Okay. And I mean, that's pretty much it. So at the top here, you can just press enabled and your campaign will launch. It's going to give you an optimization score of 81. I'm actually going to disable that. Okay. And yeah, so I mean, 81, just I saw that really quickly. It's a pretty good score. We can definitely do more things to optimize it, optimize that campaign. But usually at this point, I want to get more data, and I want to see where that data is going to lead me in which direction to make the changes to this campaign and perhaps to my landing page. Okay, and then the last thing I want to touch down on is settings. So you can always go into settings and change additional things that you need to. Perhaps when you were creating that campaign, you kind of didn't set something up correctly. You can always go ahead and change, like for example, the bidding strategy here, or your maximum cost per click bid limit. This is important. If you notice that your bid limit is a little too low, you can always, change it to, you can always change it up or change it down, however you want to do it. Add a rotation, best performing ads. Yeah, so go ahead and, look at this settings option. And yeah, these are all of your settings. Now, one thing is to note that when you're going to be getting more information as your ads are going to start to run, is going to show you the clicks, impressions. You want to look into the statistics. So first off, the way I do analytics is I start off from the top and look at the clicks, the average cost per click, the total cost, and then I look on I dig deeper. So I look at the top first, and then I kind of dig inside the campaign, see which keywords are performing the best, see which ads are performing the best, and I go from there. Now, like I said, in my plans is to make another video about optimization of campaigns specifically, and we're going to probably talk about things like optimizing the campaign, as well as actually setting up tracking where you can set up conversion tracking. And that is important because you definitely want to know how your ads are performing. In my case, what I'm doing with my landing page, this number that they call is a tracking number. So I use CallRail for my tracking, and CallRail can record the phone call as well as track it to which ad specifically gave me this call. And it's great because you can definitely do some analytics over there. But when you are running a third-party tracking system, what you can do is you can just use that third-party system to track your phone calls, and you will know how many phone calls came in from a certain date or a certain campaign or a certain ad and that kind of thing. Okay, so I don't use so what I'm trying to say is that I don't use Google's call tracking. I use CallRail's call tracking because they're the main system that I use. and they're pretty great. I do recommend them. Are a little expensive, but it is what it is. So, well, congratulations. You have just set up a campaign, and I showed you from the start to the end how to set up a great, really great fundamental campaign. Again, with more data, we're going to be able to do more things, but at this point, hey, you have a kick-ass campaign. And like you said, like you saw there for a split second, Google said it has I think an 86% optimization score, which is fantastic for just getting a campaign off of the start. When you are gonna enable this campaign, your ads might not be approved. Like, I already know that this ad is not going to be approved because it has Google and Yelp in the text. So definitely want to look at some different things to see maybe your ads are not running. Just you want to double check the campaign to make sure that your ads are running. And yeah, so when your ads are running, then it's going to say that in the status here, it's going to say that your ads are running, and it should give you a green kind of green text that your ads are active. If they're not active, you go ahead and look into the status option and see what the current status is. And what's great about Google Ads is that it has these boxes over here where it shows you all the information that you need to know as to why the campaign is not running. Sometimes it says, well, your daily budget has expired. Sometimes it says your cost per click is a little too low. And it could be a host of other things. So go ahead and just pay attention to what Google Ads is telling you. I definitely would recommend checking in at least once a day to see how the ads are performing, and doing perhaps even a slight tweak each day just to see, what kind of juice we can squeeze out of a campaign. Alrighty guys, well, thank you so much for watching. This is going to be it. If you have any other questions, go ahead and leave a comment down below. I'm going to try to get to as many of them as I possibly can. Congratulations on setting up a wonderful campaign, and I really do hope that this video did help you, and I hope it brings you much happiness and brings you financial blessings. All right, so again, thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you next time.